Hey everyone, welcome to another class at Sharing Top Crafts. I'm Rachel.
And I'm Jessica.
And this is Ava. This is why we haven't been live on Fridays for a little while, because this little nugget was born a couple weeks ago. So,
Yeah, so she's been hanging out with us.
Today she's hanging out.
She's so
We'll
precious.
see how this goes. She's very sleepy right now.
Yeah.
So today we're going to do some stamping and watercoloring techniques.
Yeah. So this is a great technique if you have some really nice outlined stamps that you want to use, and it just gives it a different look. Here are some that we've done. So we stamped it and then watercolored these flowers and the leaves. Show another. This is the other stamp we'll be doing today. Both of these stamps are from Altenew.
Mm-hmm. These are new.
Yeah, there's a bunch of new Altenew stamps in the shop, and they are very pretty.
Yeah, so this is one of them that we're using, the folk art one.
Mm-hmm.
Really pretty floral, leafy kind of design. Plus some different sayings like thanks, hello, love you.
Yeah.
Really cute.
And the main design of that would be perfect for a card. And then also the Queen Anemone stamp.
Good job saying that.
And all of their stamps come with a really cool packaging and pamphlet on the inside that kind of gives instructions. So this one is a layered stamp. We won't be using it as a layered stamp. So if you're using a layered stamp, yeah, you can use it for this technique. You just pick the one that has the most outline. So if you can kind of see, this stamp is very dark, where this one is outlined. So yeah, pick the more outlined one to use this technique with.
So you do lighter color first and add the next stamp darker. So we were playing around with that, but then we kind of decided let's just watercolor.
Yeah.
It's easier and we just love watercolors.
Yeah, I feel like when you're doing stamping, especially with us, we have some
very great at
stamping difficulties.
Yeah.
And yeah, just each layer, it gets a little more scary that you're gonna mess up. But with this technique, and I really like the end look of it with the watercolors anyways. Yes. So you just stamp once your outline, and then you can get watercoloring.
Yeah, everyone's focused on the baby. Maybe we should put her away so you focus on the class. She is pretty cute, isn't she? I'm biased. So. Okay, so let's talk about inks. Yes, Ava wants to talk about inks. So you would let's see, you want a permanent ink.
And waterproof.
Waterproof, permanent
ink. You can use any color. We're using black.
Yeah, just because it looks a nice
it's
outline.
A good outline. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but yeah, you can really use any color as long as it's archival and waterproof.
Yeah, so we have Ranger and Catherine Pooler.
Yep.
Both of these work great, and they don't take a lot of time to dry. You stamp it right on. I would give it a few seconds, and then you can start watercoloring. And we are using the Altenew watercolors. I think this is the basic set.
The 12. Yeah, 12 pack.
But there are a few different packs that we have.
And these make some beautiful colors. So
yes, very springy, summery.
It goes really good with our florals and this fun design.
Jill says, "No way, keep her there. We can multitask." Yeah. We'll see how I can do this one-handed.
I know, I'm curious to see.
Well, I've been doing a lot of things one-handed lately.
Well, I mean, there are a lot of crafty moms out there, so.
Let's see. This is the multitask class. There we go. Let's get comfortable. We can do this. Okay, so we got paintbrushes. You'll probably want a thinner one.
Yeah,
or two.
Especially if you're trying to get into more detailed areas. With this particular design, there's a lot of really small leaves. When we're using the floral, there's less small areas, so you don't have to be quite so careful.
So you're gonna start with the floral?
I was gonna start with the floral, yeah. Okay. A little smaller design, quicker to go.
I'm gonna start with the folk art. I already stamped this. Well, I had just stamped it for me. And this is mixed media paper. We would suggest mixed media paper or watercolor paper. It works really well.
Yeah.
Also, thick cardstock is fine too.
I'd say the best is just going for the watercolor because it lets you manipulate the paint longer. And
yep. Yeah, all of these are available at achairandtop.com. Yep.
Yes. Yeah, but yeah, the watercolor and the other ones.
Also, if you do use watercolor paper, I figured this out. If there's like a textured side, it doesn't your stamp does not stamp as well. Like it's not as crisp. I don't know. I had issues. But look at that.
Look at that one. That was a good one.
That's a good
First time,
meh.
It was okay. But yeah, second time's the charm with that one.
Yeah.
And this one, because it is a layered stamp, there's also that inside stamp I need. So when you're using this like regularly, that would be a different color with your layers.
Yes, Sandy, waterproof ink when you're stamping. So we are using the Ranger archival ink in black. It's permanent and waterproof. And we're also using Catherine Pooler
in Midnight. Most of Catherine Pooler's inks are, they react with water.
Except for the black.
But the black does not.
Black is permanent.
Yep.
And when you're using her inks, they're very juicy. You don't need a lot. No. You just kind of tap it lightly. And then the Ranger ink is kind of like your basic other ink. You're going to put a little bit more on to get that really crisp lines.
Okay, so there's my flower.
Pretty, pretty.
Yep.
And then here's my folk art, floral something. What's it called? I don't know.
Folk art. I think it's just, folk art.
We can talk.
You can just blame the things on the baby.
Yeah.
It's too distracting.
Everything. Blame everything on Ava.
So with this flower and watercoloring in general, you can really get different colors blending together. So this has some different petals. I like to focus on one petal at a time and kind of let it dry, and that helps build up a bit of design in it. So what I mean by that is, like, if you color the whole area of a leaf all at once and then you just move on to the next one while it's still wet, your colors will blend together. Because with watercolor paint, the waters just blend right into each other. Yeah.
So kind of, it depends what kind of look you want.
Yeah. So I'm going to start with 2 leaves on, or I guess they're petals, on opposite sides. And starting with my pink in the center.
And you can be as precise or as messy as you want. So I'm kind of like going outside of the lines because it's easier and faster.
Yeah.
And I kind of just like that look of it, kind of like, oh, here, I meant to do that. But it doesn't take as long, and you don't have to use such, precision. And
yeah, that's what I noticed when I did that one. If you can see, I really didn't worry about staying in the lines. And this I used the die cut with, which really helped clean it up a lot.
Yeah. And I started out with like a lighter green, and now I'm going back in to add a darker teal to some areas. And I'm just kind of playing around with it, not being too perfect. Because I think that's more stressful, trying to be too perfect.
It really is.
Yeah.
You
want this to be relaxing, enjoyable.
Yeah, that's what I think of with watercolor. It's more calming. You don't have to be so exact. If you want to be more exact with your stamps, I would say try a marker.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, Nicole says she loves the Alchemy watercolors. We do too. They're really great colors.
Yeah.
Tanya, are you talking about the precision press, the plastic tool? So we have this out for stamping too. Did you use this?
No, I just used a block.
So this is just a really cute. It's the mini one, and I can't really show this one handed. And you put your stamp on there, line everything up how you want it, and then just
press it down. And it's great.
I don't think you're on camera.
It's great because if you misinked something or forgot a spot or didn't push down hard enough,
then you can just do it again.
Your stamp stays right there, your paper stays right there. Add more ink, do it again.
And it comes in like a bigger size too, like, I don't know, what is it, 8x8 or something. And this is the mini one. So we have both of those on our site. I'll probably use this one a little bit later if I'm going to do a floral, if I get there. We will see. So that's the We Are Memory Keepers mini stamp press alignment. I don't know what it's called. We'll probably link that later.
Yeah. That's probably pretty close to the name though.
Yes. Okay. So I'm just going, I'm going to add more greens into here. And again, if you're just joining us, we are using permanent waterproof ink and watercolors to color it in. And I'm just doing it kind of messy.
Yeah.
Not going in all the lines.
Yeah. So I'm using some pink, orange, yellow, and I kind of went out in that order. So the darker area of my flower is the center. So I'm going pink, orange, and then yellow around the edge. And I'm letting them blend together.
What do you think is easier? Tanya asked, since you use them both, which is easier? The block or the stamp press?
With small things, I usually just go to a block.
Yeah.
But if I'm having difficulties stamping, which does happen pretty often, I would much rather use the
stamp press.
Stamp press.
Yeah. Or the stamp platform, like Tim Holtz has one,
or if you're like trying to keep something straight, like a word or something.
Oh yeah.
Then I would definitely use the stamp press because there's grids on it, and you can keep your paper lined up on it.
Yes. Tanya, she does live in Michigan if you need babysitting services. All right, come on over, Tanya. She's doing good so far. She's sleeping.
Yeah.
She still sleeps a lot. She is, what, 3 weeks old? About? Yeah. Let's see. I'm kind of just going in with some yellow and orange. I just splashed myself.
Oh.
And always start lighter. Start with a lighter color and then go in with your darker colors to add more depth and detail. Sandy says she can be there in 5 minutes to hold baby. Live close. Come on over, Sandy. Everyone wants to hold baby. Yeah. Aren't you guys interested in watercoloring? She's pretty cute. Let's see. I'm just making some more bluish flowers. I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm just kind of
just kind of going for it. Yep.
That's usually our motto. Just kind of
figure it out along the way
as we go.
Yep.
Always change things, add things. With watercolors, it's good to layer on your colors. Just
get a bit more depth.
Yeah.
I'm moving on to this leaf. I'm starting with my dark green in the center and on the stem. And then I'll go to a lighter green and use a yellow on the edges. This kind of gives it a bit more dimension of the leaf and makes it look a little more realistic. You can even add a little bit of blue.
Yes.
Which works really well in leaves. It all depends on what color theme you're going for.
Right. Well, yeah, and in nature, like a leaf is not just one color. They're usually a few different colors. Let's arm wrestle. Jill says she used to wear her kiddos while scrapbooking. Yep. I do have a carrier. I guess I could put her in. It's out in the car, though, so I don't want to get it right now. Sandy is asking, what do you do after you're done? You cut them out and put them on a card or scrapbook page. You can do whatever you want. A lot of these stamps have a die cut set that comes with them. Or you can
That
put
really
it,
comes in handy.
this is already in my journal, my mixed media journal. So this is, I'm going to keep it in here and then maybe add something to it. But yeah, what are you going to do with those? Are you going to cut them out, die cut them?
Yeah. Yeah,
Then you can
probably
add
die
them to
cut them
something.
and then add them, yeah, to a layout. These would be really pretty on a layout. Or like these, I just added to this traveler's notebook. I don't really have a plan for it yet, but could end up using, putting, words or photos, kind of leaving it open to add stuff.
Leafing it open?
Leafing it open. Yes.
Yeah, and I mean, you can just like watercolor a bunch of different things and have them ready to go.
Yeah, that's
for
also
your cards, for
very
your,
handy.
For whatever. Then you're not waiting for things to dry and whatnot.
Now that my flowers dried a little bit more, I'm going to add some more color into it. Yeah, the biggest thing with watercolor is just continue adding the color. It dries lighter than what it is when it's wet. So oftentimes you'll go back and you're like, oh, I thought that I painted that darker. It's just because
it just dries lighter.
It just dries lighter. So you might have to go back, add some more colors, get a little more definition in there.
So like on my yellow flowers, I'm adding some pink in there. So it gives me a nice orangey peach kind of color here on the bottom. I'm making the bottom of my flowers darker since they are usually further away from the light. So the top of your flower is lighter. But you can really just do it however you want. But
yeah, and that's
how I usually go.
I'm using the wetness of the flower to really get my paints blending together, and that's kind of how you create like the smooth transitions of colors. I can show you real quick over here what I'm doing. So I started with my pink, and then I went in with my orange, and you'll see how when I add the orange right next to the pink, they just start blending together.
It's so pretty.
Then I went with a little bit of yellow on the edge and a little bit of purple in the creases. So you can see how that just really blended all together.
Okay, sorry, let me try to catch up on comments here. So when you bought a blank journal, what type of paper is that? There are several different kinds we have. There are Prima ones, there are, I don't even know what we have, a lot of different kinds. This one specifically that I'm using is just a Strathmore mixed media paper pad.
I'd say if you're planning to do mostly watercolor, go for a watercolor paper. If you're going to do more mixed stamping and such, go for a mixed media. You also want a journal that has flat pages.
So a spiral is really good for that. Otherwise, your stamping is going to be off and your watercolors are going to fall off.
If it's a journal that like opens with the spine of the book, and it's kind of tilts open. You could run into a few more problems with the water.
When you look at the green, the green does look a lot darker in the tin on camera, but it shows up a lot lighter. It's kind of more of a pastel green.
Here's that. See, when I started painting, and you can also do, so like if you want to paint a little bit faster, I'm going to paint this pretty fast. So I'm just going to get the whole thing wet.
Do like a wet and wet technique.
So you can get your whole page wet. And with this being just plain water, you can really see how the ink does not blend or travel at all. So now that my page is all wet, I can start adding some colors that I wanted. And they'll just kind of blend around.
Tanya, you do want a spiral, yes. A spiral book is going to be a nice flat surface for you. There might be some books out there that are not spiral, that are flat.
Or a lot of them, like more sketchbooks, will have like an open at the top. That will work
those will probably work too. Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you ever get too much watercolor on there, like I just did a little bit ago, get a paper towel and just kind of soak up some of that color. Let's see. I'm going to add some more orange and yellow in here. I don't even know what half these things are. Like, some of these are florals, some are leaves.
Some are just like designs.
Yeah. I don't really know.
Very pretty though.
Well, Ava would like to say something. Yeah. You were doing so good. Let's see if this goes. Here it goes. Okay, she's back up. So let's see. What was I doing? Orange.
And with this, I do have the die cut of this stamp. So that's also why I'm really not worried about following the lines. The die cut will save me there.
And mine, I'm gonna just keep messy like this, like on my paper. I like that look of just kind of outside the line. And you can add as many or as little layers as you want. It kind of depends how much time you have or what you want to do.
How long you want to spend on it. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm kind of going back and adding some darker pink to some of my areas here. I think this will look really cute as like a card front.
Yeah.
Since it's such a big size.
Yeah. And it really comes with really good card phrases in that stamp set as well.
Yeah. Let's see.
Right with you.
Add some more pink. Okay. What else do I want? Green? I think I need more green.
Yeah, I don't even think I added any green. So you can see how quickly I filled up this page.
Oh yeah, that's pretty.
Just using pretty colors, and it really, like we said, it can take as long or as short as you want.
Yeah.
This could also just be a first layer. So I could go back in after this dries and really get into more of the details. And I think I'll do a little bit of that. Dry this layer.
You really can't go wrong with these colors. They look really good together.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really nice about this set. Yeah, the colors go really nice together.
Watercolors, yeah. This is the 12 set.
So now that it's dry, I have my first base layer done. I could leave it like that. That is pretty, just like that. Might add in a little bit more. Just in a few areas. And then there's kind of that balance of all over the place. Plus, you kind of look like you went in the lines here and there.
Yeah, I'm adding a little bit more yellow. If you want to brighten something up, yellow or orange look really good with most colors. Just a tiny little bit, like on your edges or some of your leaves. And mine is almost done, but I'm kind of just keep poking at it.
Yeah. Yeah, you could keep poking for forever.
Right. I could watercolor all day.
Yeah, I just find it's very so calming. Yeah.
Even with baby. This is very beginner friendly. Like you don't have to know exactly how to watercolor. Just find a nice outline kind of stamp that you love. Stamp it down. Grab a couple colors.
Get
Good to go.
Yeah. Test out some different things. Stamp the same image multiple times and see what design you like, which works for you.
If you don't have watercolors, you can also use like Distress Oxide inks or the Captain Pooler inks, because they react with water. So you can like just smush down a little bit on a plastic or glass area and add water, and there you go. You have watercolors. I'm just adding more yellow, more pink. Just making it up as I go. I really like this pink and yellow together.
Yeah. I really like the pink and the purple together too. Some really good combos in here.
Nice and springy.
If you're just new to starting to blend colors, I'd say grab like a scrap piece of paper and try some color blending. Put one dab of paper on one side and another color on the other. I'm trying to show you. Add some red and some purple, and then get it a little wet in the center and see how it looks together.
And play around with like how much water you use. You can make it lighter, darker.
How much pigment you add to it. Yeah. Have fun with it.
Yeah. So I think this is done.
Yeah.
I can give you a little close up here. Isn't that pretty? And it's not exact. I did not stain the lines. It's just pretty springy, summery.
I want to die cut mine real quick.
Oh yeah.
Show that one.
Show how to do that. And then I was gonna use this to stamp.
Are we still going for some flowers?
Yeah. I'm gonna need some assistance.
Okay.
I only want that one.
Let's see. Which flower you want?
I want outline flower. That one. It's so loud, Ava. So remember when you're stamping, pick something that has a lot of outline to it on the edges and a little bit in the middle. Florals are really good because they're more forgiving.
Yeah.
And I probably should dry this a little bit. And yeah, florals, leaves, those are more forgiving, I feel like, with watercolors. So I'm using just the We Are Memory Keepers Precision Press, the mini one. So stick your stamp in there, and then you're going to ink it.
I just do really light taps with the Catherine Pooler. Yeah. Just kind of set it on. There you go.
And then
you just want a piece of one of these?
Yeah.
Actually, here. Do you want to cut it?
Rip it. Okay. So then you put in your, make sure I'm on camera here. Put in your paper, line it up, and push down. Let's see if I can do this one hand. And that's pretty good.
That is good. And then you want to add in your,
so there's my outline.
Flower center.
Flower center.
And this is where the precision press comes extra in handy.
Oh, yeah, for lining that up.
Yeah, yes. Because you can just set your paper down decide where you want your layered stamp, and you can just set it right on your picture.
Mm-hmm.
Then pick it up using the top.
And then add your ink. And really, you can tape down this paper too, so it doesn't move.
Yeah.
If you're working with like a bigger sheet. And what I like about this is that you can, I like the little mini one just for smaller things, but you can use bigger sheets of paper because the edges are open. There we go. Look at that. You can stamp one-handed with a baby. With a baby. Baby stamping. Okay. So now I have my cute little flower that I can die cut or fussy cut out when I'm done. And I'm going to just do a really quick watercolor on that. Like, not going to be too perfect about lines. And start with like a light pink all over. Just really quick. You can add in some yellow.
Get mine all dry again. Keep drying it, but then
you keep adding more.
more.
Yeah.
It's easier to get all of your design done before you die cut it.
Yeah.
Well, all the watercolor done.
Yes.
You can still go back after, but just makes it a little trickier. So here is the die set that goes with the stamp.
So this is all to new.
There's also die for the little added leaf that goes with the die or the stamp set.
And we're using the Sizzix. Which one
This is the Big Shot.
The Big Shot.
Yes. Okay, get it lined up. This part always makes me nervous.
Yeah. Don't mess up.
I always feel like I'm gonna bump it.
Well, yeah. You can also tape it down.
Yeah.
That's what I like to do because I'm a bumper. I definitely will bump it and move it. Yeah. You move it?
I don't know. Okay.
While you're doing that, my flower, like well, if I was not distracted, I could do this in about 1 minute. But I'm adding just a little bit of the darker kind of reddish in my center. And then I have this light pink around that. Then I have a yellow on my edges. And like that's just a really, really quick way to do a watercolor flower. And done. Let that dry, and then it's ready to be cut or die cut out. As you bump all the table.
Because this is thicker watercolor paper, I'm going back and forth.
Yeah.
Twice, like back and forth. Okay.
Let's see how that looks.
All right.
Ooh.
See it popping out. This one had a lot of smaller ones.
Pretty.
And then some of these do come apart separately. So you can add these extra designs around it wherever. And then it also pops out in the middle. So that's what I mean. All of this going over the edge that I did, it's perfectly fine.
If you want that really crisp look.
Popping out all these littles in the centers. Okay.
Cute.
There we go.
That's so cute. And then you can just add that to whatever.
Yeah.
Your scrapbook page, your card, junk journal.
Yeah. Yeah, this is pretty for anything really.
Layer it over whatever.
Yeah.
Even can like tuck a photo, like kind of layer it on the bottom of a photo. I feel like that'd be cute too.
You could even make like cut out extras of these added little parts to put around it, and I feel like that could be really cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of options.
I like my little fast flower. And it's not perfect, it's just kind of that watercolory look.
Mm-hmm.
And then here's my same stamp as Jess's, just in my
The
mixed
journal.
media book.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. I think that's all we have.
Yeah. Yeah.
So again, you want to use permanent waterproof inks for your outline. You could use black or whatever color you have, but usually black is the one that's waterproof.
Yeah.
In most companies.
Yeah, all of the archival inks are waterproof, so you could use any of those.
Yeah.
With the Catherine Pooler, you can use just the black. iCrafter, you can use any of the colors.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, they turn out really nice and crisp. And then use whatever watercolors you have on hand. We use the Altenew watercolors and Altenew stamps. And these just came in like yesterday or the day before.
The folk art
The folk art,
yeah.
Some of these other new ones.
Mm-hmm.
So pretty.
Yeah, it's a pretty stamp.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining. We hope you have been inspired to do some watercoloring and some stamping. Let us know if you have any questions, and let's see what you do. Like, tag us in your projects.
You make me feel like rocking.
Oh,
I kept noticing myself rocking, and
I don't even notice when I'm doing it. I'm like always rocking. So yeah. We'll just rock together.
Well, thanks for stopping by.
Have a great Friday. See you next time.
Bye.